Story 1. A fair few people have told me I'm quite handsome, not just my mom either. If we defer to eye of the beholder, I must have at least a little something going on. Story 2. If I put a nice picture of myself on social media, I get too many messages from guys. I don't think I'm conventionally attractive, but I like my cheekbones. Story 3. Physically, I am tall, have a strong jawline, a full head of blonde hair, and a well-grown beard. I am physically attractive. I'm a bit eccentric, but I look good. Story 4. It took a number of very attractive women to say so before I started to believe them. I just kept assuming it was a scam until it became literally impossible to think so. Story 5. My friend and I went to the bar last weekend, and as we were coming in, we passed two guys leaving and immediately heard one say, "Do you want to go back in?" Then the other said, "Holy shit, yes." Story 6. As a dude, and contrary to what everyone says on Reddit, I actually get complimented by men and women regularly. I'd say I get complimented on my looks at least once a week. Story 7. I'm funny. Like, really, I am. I might not be the funniest person in my circle, but overall, I am more funny than an average woman my age and culture of origin. The secret ingredients are trauma, mental disorders, and no self-respect. Story 8. Two men have asked me out in the last couple of months. I have a boyfriend too. I actually don't regard myself as particularly attractive. I think it's just charisma. Story 9. I was cursed with the massive breasts of my mom's side of the family and their torture. But hey, if I ever feel like getting some, they'll be huge assets. Story 10. I have no idea, to be honest, but it must be something. I've been called ugly all my life, and all of a sudden, I get, "By the way, you're very handsome," after dates. It's so jarring. Story 11. Interesting question. Well, I dance for a living and get paid big bucks to perform a fantasy. I have been able to date almost everyone I wanted. The only time I received rejection was because the guy already had a girlfriend. I didn't know at the time. Another thing that leads me to believe that I'm attractive is that people tell me I'm pretty, beautiful, or cute all the time. Story 12. I told my friend I like a girl. My friend told the girl I like her when I was not around. The girl has started getting a little closer to me recently. Guys, I'm in the process. Wish me luck. Story 13. Someone said delusion, and I think that is a great response. However, there are some things that are very noticeable. It seems like an instinctual thing. You can almost feel attraction, and you can tell when they stare. People of the opposite sex are way nicer than they should be. It could be something as simple as a random compliment during ordering food. Also, people will go out of their way to make things as easy as possible for you. I know this because I was very overweight at one point and didn't receive that kind of treatment, but sure enough, once I lost a lot of weight, everything changed. But yeah, you can feel the stares. Story 14. I have really good eyes for a dude, big with decent lashes. Even now, as I get a bit older, they still seem to disarm people's caution after locking eyes. I used to do well with the ladies, married now, and it was a common compliment. Granted, I'm starting to see signs of a dad bod. So, I think my eyes might be outmatched by my overwhelming dadness soon. Story 15. I've had women come to me and say, "My boyfriend is gone, would you like to come over?" Or, "My husband is gone, would you like to come over?" Or, "My husband says it's all right to come over." I've had men ask, "Would you sleep with my wife?" Or they would ask, "I'm leaving for a while, would you mind staying at my house and taking care of my wife?" When I am out eating by myself, I've had random women sit right next to me and start eating from my plate. When I'm at the bar sitting by myself, I've had women start dancing and shaking their hips in my face. Story 16. I never leave my home. If I do, people of both genders just throw themselves at me. It's like one of those 2000s Axe commercials. I've been in traction twice from back injuries sustained by those overtaken by amorous need. Story 17. I'm not attractive, but surely in a country where 2/3 of people are overweight, being thin has got to make me better than average. I also dress well, I think, don't have any addictive habits, and try to be nice to everyone, which is far more than can be said for a lot of people I see out and about. In reality, though, my unattractive features make all of my good qualities completely irrelevant. Story 18, I don't care. I have had 5 kids. I stopped shaving years ago because it's too much work. I'm lucky if I get to shower every other day. I can't remember the last time I groomed myself. Like putting on makeup, plucking my eyebrows, or brushing my hair. I'm generally a mess. I will say there was a time I was a sexy lady, and maybe someday I'll get back to caring. But right now, if my husband still cuddles me and isn't embarrassed to be seen with me in public, that's enough attractiveness for me. Story 19. I get hit on more than I would like. Sadly, it's usually people that I wish wouldn't. Still a confidence boost, I guess. Grew up with lower self-esteem. Story 20. I once said to someone, when I proved I was right, "I'm not as stupid as I look," to which they responded, "You couldn't possibly be." But in all reality, I don't see myself as attractive, but my wife and quite a few other people have said I'm quite handsome. So I'll take that. Story 21. When I was a teenager, around 15, I was ranked as the second most beautiful girl in town by a group of boys who basically knew every teenager and young adult back then. Needless to say, I'm still flattered, even if their opinions might have changed. Story 22. I fit into Western beauty ideals. Not perfectly, but enough to realize it's true. Also, people keep saying that, and I started believing it young. I just know it's nowhere near the greatest thing about me. Story 23. I see that I'm good looking in the mirror. I'm not saying I'm a 10 or anything, but I take care of my appearance. I think I'm getting better with age. I get multiple compliments every week from people at work or on the street. It's not about my face, but about the things that I'm wearing. I could be wrong, but from what I see, unattractive people don't frequently receive compliments. I'm married now, but I haven't always had to make the first move. Even in my 40s, I still get hit on and proudly tell my wife that I've still got it. Story 24. People consistently tell me I am gorgeous and beautiful. Maybe they're right. A stranger approached me with flowers recently just to tell me that. Story 25. I live in the limbo of not knowing. People online seem to think I'm attractive, but people in real life say nothing. Though the fact that I've never been called ugly is probably pointing towards me being attractive or just being average. Story 26. Gay men come up and compliment me and ask if I'm free that night or ask for my number. And then they tell me I have a nice smile. I have actually made a few good friends that way. Women don't come up to me too often, if ever, though. My male friends say I'm not good-looking per se, but ruggedly handsome in one friend's words. A 90s Marlboro man, if that makes sense. I don't even smoke. Story 27. I have always had girls chasing me since middle school. Now I'm nearly 30 and married, and I still get propositioned at least a few times a year, even though I never go out or anything. Just women at work, stores, and so on. Friends' moms and sisters always say how attractive I am. I am no model or movie star level, but probably an 8. Story 28. On the rare occasion I am out in a pub, I am often asked for my number. A novel experience because I was not that pretty in school. I really grew into myself and gained a lot more confidence when I reached 19, but I never shook the perception that I wasn't attractive. So it's always surprising to be hit on. Also embarrassing because I have a partner and son waiting for me at home. Story 29. I can tell when I look in the mirror or see myself in pictures, usually. But also, people have made a big deal about my looks all my life. I especially trust the things that people have said behind my back, not directly to me, about my looks. In college, people who didn't know me were calling me the girl who looks like Natalie Portman. When I dressed up for an event, people were talking about how I looked like a Bond girl. A friend once told me that their coworkers had said they were surprised that someone as good-looking as me would be friends with them, which I found rude. Also, my relatives are gorgeous, and I know we share genes. Story 30. I have blue eyes, and I have been told it's a desirable trait. I'm also well over 6 feet tall. In online dating, I can attract women quite easily, but my social skills are not good. Story 31. I went from being an overweight kid to having a period in my late teens and early 20s where I looked above average. I was a little taller than average and although not in terrific shape, was at least not too overweight. Girls and women reacted differently to me during that time, but less so those who went to school with me and were already aware of the type of person I am. They could tell that I wasn't going to be successful. The increased level of attention didn't feel right to me, and it really didn't change my attitude. That period has ended now, and things have returned to normal. I lost my hair pretty quickly and started shaving my head full-time at 30. The fact that I've never had an athletic body started to assert itself, and fluctuating weight and poor posture have had their effects. I have a couple of brothers who are about 15 years older than me, so I was aware of what I was likely to look like in my 30s. I knew that any looks I had were temporary. Anyway, I've been on both sides of it, and the difference in the way people react to you is very noticeable. The extra attention I got when I looked better than average didn't make me feel good, though. Story 32. I'm not attractive. The swooning and drooling over an attractive guy is something I will never witness in this life. Not that I want the attention of the whole room of ladies or something, but it wouldn't have hurt to be a solid 5 or 6, so you can at least have a better chance of finding one lady swooning over me when I come out of the shower. Oh well, it is what it is. Story 33. The first 2 women I was ever with were the ones who approached me and initiated, so I can't be all that bad. 3 out of the 5 I've been with actually. Story 34. Honestly, it's not about thinking I am objectively attractive, but more about feeling good in my own skin. When I take care of myself, dress in something I love, or even just get a genuine compliment from someone, it's those little things that make me feel confident and attractive in my own way. Story 35. Men across the board say that women do not approach them, but I have had women approach me. Back in college, I was the focal point of multiple woman-on-woman rivalries. Definitely not by choice. It is flattering for a day the first time it happens. Then it is just drama. Story 36. I'm okay looking, but I have a great sense of humor and I'm good at talking to people. Pretty much my only saving grace, to be honest. I don't think I would have ever had a girlfriend if I wasn't good at talking. I think it's a side effect of going to about 10 or more schools growing up and always being the new kid. I had to make friends fast a lot, because otherwise I would just be alone. Story 37. I don't know about overall attractiveness, but the number of women who have angrily told me over the years how much they like my eyebrows, it just has to be true. So, I know I'm attractive from the forehead down and the eyes up. Better than nothing. Story 38. A child told me unexpectedly that I was pretty. Babies look at me and smile. Men tell me I'm beautiful and women tell me I'm pretty. People are nice to me. I don't try to be attractive. I take care of myself but don't wear a lot of makeup. But from an outward clinical standpoint, all the evidence from my interactions with others tells me I am. I don't know. I have always thought I was ugly, but that's my eating disorder and body dysmorphia talking. My face is my face. Take it or leave it. It's people being nice. I've read that's a clear sign that subconsciously people see your appearance as attractive. Men also do things for me faster, but I believe part of that is I don't act like I'm aware I'm attractive. It is a tool and I use it appropriately. I went out on a limb and posted some pictures on a Rate Me website and got a solid 8.5 to 9 response, so that's supporting evidence from the internet. I know I'm not a supermodel, but I know that I am pretty in a non-intimidating way. What I like most about my boss is he doesn't care. He hired me for my mind and work ethic. Story 39. People tell me I am. I have not been insulted with things like, "You're ugly," since I was in middle school. Do not underestimate people's creativity. The worst I ever got was something untranslatable, meaning that I was stunning but useless. When I went through a major depression, one of them yelled in anger, "How can you be depressed? You're handsome," and it instantly cured my depression. So yes, I know that I'm physically attractive. Story 40. Had a side account where I posted not safe for work content for a bit. Made $30 in about 3 weeks and then had to stop because of health issues. It was quite the confidence boost, though. Story 41. I am tall, not obese, and not disfigured. I think as a guy that gets me most of the way there. I could score more points if I got in a bit better shape, though. Story 42. Strangers are nice to me, and I've been told way too many times, so I'm starting to believe the compliments. Also, Girls in the same room sometimes look at me and smile, but I still manage to get rejected 50% of the time. Story 43. I'm not a model or anything, believe you me, but I can feign confidence, which definitely does some heavy lifting in my personal experience, and I get hit on a good bit but not too much, so I assume I'm decent enough looking but not overly approachable. I got hit on more frequently when I was less conversationally attractive, if I'm honest. Story 44. I don't think of myself as excessively attractive, however. I've had several women older than myself pretty much come right out and say so, others insinuating as much. One time I got drafted into a sexiest man contest while on board a cruise ship. Story 45. I do get a lot of matches online, and my friendship group is full of good-looking people. I'm fit, my previous partners have been attractive, and I've got a good personality. I'm intelligent too. Actually, thanks for your post. It made me realize a lot about myself that I hadn't really thought of before. Story 46. It is sad because I have always had really low self-esteem my whole life. I used to write notes on my wall saying how ugly I am. I am 33 now. I do not love the way I look, but I do not hate it either. I look back at photos from the last couple of years and think, man, I am really not as ugly as I thought I was. Sometimes I think I actually looked quite pretty. Very sad I wasted all those years believing I was not. Also, I have big juicy lips that are natural and people ask me if I get fillers, so that is a win.